What's going on, everybody? My name is Bendy, and this is Disney Heroes. Yeah, that's it. Have a good day, everybody. That was it. That was the video. Subscribe, like. No, just kidding. So today I wanted to start a new series where I just focus on one hero for the entire video. And I'm probably gonna try maybe not go through every single hero because there's so many now. But I'll go through some of the best heroes, some of the most annoying heroes that people have trouble with, and just let you guys know what they do, what teams they work well with, who counters them. Kind of most importantly, because if you're having trouble with them, obviously you want to know what does good against them. So I wanted to start with Mulan because she's been definitely a powerhouse in this game for pretty much ever since she came out. I think which was like early in 2020 or something like that. But when she first came out, she was absolutely absurd, like completely uncounterable. There was nothing you could do against her pretty much. But now she's gotten a few newer heroes that counter her a little bit, so she's kind of toned down her overpoweredness a little bit. So I want to start with just generally going through her skills a little bit, showing you guys what she does exactly. So yeah, if you like what I'm doing, give me a like, subscribe, join the Under 100 Club, because what else could you ever want other than to just brag in the comments forever about how you were one of the first 100 people to subscribe to me. So anyways, so we're going to look at Mulan here, and we're just going to start with her white skill. So Mulan's white skill is Fireworks Frenzy, which calls in a volley of fireworks to hit all the enemies. This is really her bread and butter right here. She does an absurd amount of damage with this. It just wrecks almost everything in her path, and that's really what you have to watch out for the most. So her green skill is kind of the other thing that kind of messes people up. At the beginning of each wave, she launches a firework at the furthest enemy, dealing quite a lot of damage and stunning them for 9 seconds. So usually if you aren't prepared for the Mulan, you'll literally just lose your back row hero right off the bat in the beginning of the fight. And then you'll pretty much just be in a 4 versus 5 fight at that point. So it can be very annoying at that point, just literally right off the get-go of the fight. However, blue, she dodges a melee attack and counters with her fan every 4 seconds, granting her a shield for a lot of HP that lasts for 5 seconds. So she's also, on top of doing all of that damage to people, she's also just constantly giving herself a shield that she is used to defend herself with. So she does a whole bunch of damage. She also defends herself pretty well. So she's all around just a very strong hero. And then the final thing is, while she has a shield, her normal crit chance is increased by 100. So if we look at her stat here, her normal crit is already 318. Is that what that is? 318. So while she has that shield that comes from her blue skill, she also gets 100 plus 100 normal crit. So that puts her at 418 for me. I mean, for my Mulan, I should say. My Mulan is pretty strong. So basically, she's almost always going to be critting as long as she has a shield. And then the last skill is her red skill. She's also immune to all blinds, and her attack speed is increased by 50% while she's shielded. So on top of all of that shielding that she does to give her normal crit, she also is going to be immune to blinds for you. So she's just a very all-around, well-rounded character. And actually, I'm going to go through her friend discs really quick. I think her friend discs are actually kind of the weakest part of her entire kit. So her... Colette. Her Colette disc is gives max HP to blue team allies and a basic damage boost to her. And then the star ability over here is every 3 basic attacks knock back enemies and deals 60% more damage. That's actually pretty strong, now that I think about it. As long as you put her in with some blue team people, they're gonna increase their max HP, while she's also knocking back enemies and dealing 60% more damage. So that is pretty strong, actually. I didn't really realize that, but I use this one. So every time she crits with her basic attack, which is anytime she's shielded, she heals for a lot of HP. And I'm actually going to increase this a little bit while I'm here. And then she also has 250% increased shield HP. So if we look at her, she's already getting, or at least mine is, about 6.5 million HP from a shield that she puts on from her blue skill. And then on top of that, she's getting 250% more on top of that. So that's like, I don't know, what is that, like 18 million shield damage? That's just absurd. So you can see she's very strong, and she does an absurd amount of damage. She really packs a wallop out there. And I know if you've played this game, you know she is very annoying to face. So next, I want to quickly go through my mods here. I actually am pretty happy with the mod selection I gave here. So obviously this is just how I did it. You don't have to do it the exact same way. You can copy me if you want. I don't care. You don't even have to credit me. Don't even worry about it. But what I did was I gave her even more shield right at the beginning of the fight. So this shield that she gets right at the start from this mod upgrade right here is going to immediately give you that increased normal crit right away and the immunity to blinds just right off the bat, so you don't even have to wait for the blue skill to go off. It's literally just going to be there right at the start of the fight. So there's that. I did that for that reason. And then I did a blue skill mod and a green skill mod on her. So the green skill one is just going to deal more damage with that first firework that goes off against the back row person. And then the blue mod is just increasing that HP from the shield. So you can see I'm really leaning into the shields really hard with Mulan. So she's just doing a whole lot of shields. And then on top of that, I gave her the 24 normal crit right here, just to really hone in on everything she's good at, pretty much. So she's really just a monster with this setup, I think. So like I said, you don't have to copy this, or you can if you want to. It might even be good to replace the green skill mod with another shield mod. That is another possibility, because I don't think this one is quite as necessary because it only goes off right at the beginning of the fight and that's it. So that could be a good option for you, especially because the diamond ones are a little bit rarer, I think, and it's going to be a little bit easier for you to get these shield ones. So that's another option for you guys, but like I said, you can do whatever you want with it, but this is just what I did, and I've had a ton of success with Mulan. She's one of my favorites. So with all of that, I wanted to next go into who works good with Mulan. And the answer to that is really just anybody who's going to give an attack boost, or a basic attack boost, sorry. Anybody that's going to stun the enemies, so freeze, charm, blind, another blind person. So you can really just dig in on the blinds from, say, Goofy or Ian or something like that. Or you can get an even further power boost from, say, Nick or Judy, or even Maximus or something like that with the study that Maximus does. So that's just a few options for who pairs well with Mulan. So like I said, anybody who stuns the enemy, anybody who gives her a huge power boost like Nick or Judy. Study is going to do great with her. And also anybody who's going to give her a shield, like Baymax is going to give shields. I think Joy does. Does Joy give shield? I can't remember. Yeah, so Joy maybe. There's plenty of options. She really just goes great with almost any team, really. And yeah, I highly recommend working on her because she's definitely, even with some counters joining the game ever since her release, she's still one of the top heroes in the game. Probably one of the top 5 right now. I don't think she's number 1 anymore. She definitely used to be number 1, but she's definitely the top 5 or maybe top 10 in the game right now. Alright, and then the final thing I wanted to talk about is counters for her, which I'm sure is the part that you're here to see. So anytime I see a Mulan, the first people I always go for is usually Timon and Ian, or anybody else that has Reflect. There's 2 or 3 others with Reflect now. Darkwing Duck has Reflect, and Darkwing Duck is also a pretty good counter for Mulan in general. I don't exactly know why. He stuns, and I think he also dodges and has a bigger speed boost, but either way, everyone's always been saying that Darkwing Duck is a pretty good counter for Mulan. I don't have him powered up very well right now, though, so that's not really an option for me. But if you have Darkwing Duck, there you go. But yeah, my main 2 that I always go in with against Mulan are Ian and Timon. Timon is great against Mulan because of Hakuna Matata. with the purple skill, giving immunity to all crits. So that basically just covers all of the shielding that you could ever need. But that's only during Akuna Matata, so that's in the beginning of the wave, and then he's able to use Akuna Matata again a second time in the battle. I think it's from the friend disc. Yeah, activates again when he reaches 50%. So that's a good counter from Mulan. Ian is a great one because of his reflect ability, which automatically just bounces back that first firework back at the enemy team. And going back to who you might want to pair Mulan with, a lot of people pair Mulan with Timon in order to counter the Ian trick, or even just doing your own Ian. So you can really just counter Mulan really with the same exact team that the enemy is using, almost in a way. Because you'll see a lot of times people put Timon with Mulan on a defense. Like, I'll probably just find one right here. There we go, see? Mulan and Timon right there. They go together very well, so that you can't really counter with Ian or Timon as well as you would otherwise. Another thing you could do is Dash, or Rapunzel, or Shan Yu, who are the main three shield breakers in this game. Dash with his Violet Disc does 375% more damage to shielded enemies, and then Rapunzel with the Jasmine Disc here makes all allies deal 40% more damage to enemies with a shield. That's an option also against Mulan. And then also just any stun. So Freeze is also good against Mulan. Shank is also pretty good against Mulan because of the absurd amount of armor she has. And then she also negates a bunch of damage against her, basically. Yeah, so with her red skill, she takes less damage from crits, less damage in general. So that's a decent option. I've tried many times against Mulan. It's pretty hit or miss, honestly. Her kit sounds really good against Mulan, but I don't know, it hasn't been as successful as I thought it would be. Another option is just a reality team, or a fantastic team. So say like Kidda, Minnie, Elastigirl, Tigger, anything like that. Cheshire is pretty good against Mulan too, but really just, especially to defend yourself against a Mulan, I always just go with Timon first, and that's just my go-to, or Ian, one or the other, or both. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the Mulan overview. Let me know what you think of this. If you want me to talk about other heroes, maybe, I would love to do it. Let me know who else you want me to talk about. I might talk about maybe Kristoff, or Cheshire, or maybe Maximus or Tron, or something like that. Yeah, let me know what you think of this. I'm just trying something new here. I just kind of thought of this the other day. If you like what I'm doing here, give me a like, subscribe, comment, hit me up on Reddit. I'm always on the Disney Heroes subreddit. My name is Bendy Ben with a 3 for an E. I'll pop it up on screen here. If you're on server 1, hit me up in the DMs. I'd love to talk to you guys. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace.